As you know, my name is Myles Castello, up on the screen right there, and I am a singer-songwriter. I'm a recording artist. So before I start that part of the performance, I was going to talk about myself a little bit, how I got into music, and how I came to be an artist. So to start, I was an athlete. I used to play basketball, soccer, football, anything really that was given by like the TEDxStMary, any kind of sport I could really play, I played. And I was always into sports. I used to wake up early for sports, go to bed late for sports. Does anyone here compete in any sports at all? Show of hands. It's like half the room. All right. Now, how about musicians? Do we have any musicians in the room? And like half again. Okay, that's pretty good. Give yourselves a round of applause for that then. So I'm right at home. So to start, I grew up in Toronto and surrounded by music all the time, R&B, blues, reggae in my house. And I always used to listen to music, but very casually when I'm playing my sports. So I was never really thinking about doing it seriously. And basically when I got to high school, I got into gymnastics. So I used to compete for gymnastics, artistic gymnastics. And I went to a school called Bill Crothers. Does anybody know that school? Anybody heard of it? So I went there, and basically I was in this program that was designed to help high-performance athletes compete and still be in school at the same time, because that could be a difficult thing to do. So I got in grade 9 to this school, and I went to school for half the day, which was a dream for me, right? Because, yeah. I went to school for 3 hours. The other half of the day, I would spend training for 4 hours. Did about 20 hours a week, give or take. And basically, that's what took up most of my time in high school. And I was very tunnel vision towards being an athlete, and I wanted to compete. And it was something I really wanted to do. And music was never really in my mind. It was just kind of there as a pastime, just like how most of us listen to it on your iPod in the car. I enjoyed it, but I didn't take it too seriously. So one day I was riding my bike, and usually you're not really encouraged to do other sports when you're competing, because you're spending all this time focusing on a sport, and last thing you want is to get injured or something crazy to happen. But what happened was I was going to meet my friend. We were just going to go hang out. It was a nice day. Birds are chirping, sun shining, all of that good stuff. And I decided there's this trick that we do on the BMX. It's called a bar spin. And basically what it is you jump on the bike and you flick the bar around and try and catch it, right? And now I think about it, I'm like, why would I ever want to do that, right? So what happened was I did this trick over this little hump, and I ended up smashing my elbow onto the bar, and my elbow actually cracked off. I know. You guys like a sound effect button. You guys are like, ah. So I ended up just sitting down. So I'm sitting down, leaning against a fence like this, and I'm waiting for my friend to come. And he shows up, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I think I just broke my arm. And I'm saying it casually, because I don't know if I was in shock or adrenaline, which is probably what it was, because I didn't feel anything. I don't remember falling. I just remember kind of, I'm about to go down, and now I'm down. So I'm leaning against the fence, and then he's like, you should probably go to the hospital and get that checked out. So I get back up. I get on my bike. Insane, I know. And I ride it back home. So this day, I keep getting reminded by my mother, because she always tells this story to people. I go in my house, and I go sit down. I go to the fridge, grab some orange juice. I'm sitting, trying to compose myself, collect myself after I kind of knew what happened, but I wasn't really sure. She comes down the stairs, and she's like, oh, hey, what's up? How are you doing? And I was like, oh, hi, Mom. I think I just broke my arm. And last thing a mother wants to hear, right? And she's a nurse as well, so, she's kind of looking at me like, okay, you're not crying, you're not doing anything, you're not freaking out, so what do you want? And she looks at my arm, and there's like a bulge the size of a golf ball. And so what we do is we go to the hospital, we go to the desk, and we say we need an X-ray. And the woman's looking at me at the desk, and she's looking at me the same way my mom did, like, you're not hurt, because I'm sure she has kids every day with broken arms, legs coming in, and they're bawling, and I'm just there, basically saying it how I'm saying it to you guys right now, is just my arm's broken. And we ended up convincing her after she saw the bulge. I get an x-ray done. And then the nurse comes back to me with the x-ray sheet, and she's like, oh, I can't fix that. And I'm at a hospital, so the last thing I want to hear is that my arm can't get fixed, right? So I ended up staying in the hospital for 3-4 days because it wasn't considered an emergency. So that was fun. I had everyone bring me food. There was only a Tim Hortons downstairs. It wasn't the greatest time of my life, but I got through it. Now, going back to school and gymnastics, I couldn't really flick around my schedule because it was kind of mid-semester, and most of you guys some of you guys are in high school, and it's difficult to play around with your schedule once you kind of get into the rhythm of things. So I still had all of this time off to do nothing really, because I couldn't train, obviously. I had a cast on, but it was actually, the cast was kind of shaped in this way. So luckily, I had all this time off, and I decided to pick up the guitar. So I wanted to play guitar again, just for fun, as a hobby. And I asked my mom, like, can I get a guitar? Because, in high school, you don't have money. You need money for everything from a candy to a PlayStation. And I had to ask my mom, beg her, and she said, I'll buy you a guitar only if you decide to take formal lessons. And I was like, oh, I really didn't want to do that. She convinced me, I convinced her. I took the lessons, started to write, learn chords, basic songs. And from there, I spent most of my time just practicing, and I was never really into singing either. So once I got a little bit better at the guitar, at family events, birthday parties, banquets, I used to go sit down and play guitar with my sister, and she would sing, because I have 2 sisters, an older sister and a younger sister, and my mom, and they all sing beautiful voices, and I was never a singer. I never sang when I was younger in a choir or anything. I didn't have any formal training, so I was always too shy, right? So getting over that, I started to keep writing and developing my craft, and eventually I started to slowly meet different people throughout the music industry who could just help me develop. I met management teams, record labels, different kinds of people who kind of showed me what goes on behind the scenes, because we all see artists and different things, but there's a ton that goes on behind, from lawyers to different contracts, how touring works, how writing works, how all of these different things break down into what we stream on our phones. So I couldn't compete in my sport anymore. I was devastated because I was so tunnel vision towards doing sports. And fortunately, I started to develop the skill. I got better and better, and certain opportunities started to come my way. So more shows, I got asked to play at different places. People started getting interested in me from a musical point, from a business point, and from there it started to keep pushing my music career forward. So the one thing I did from all of this, what I really learned, was that all the character that I developed through sports, and all of you guys who put up your hand who play sports, that it takes time, dedication, energy, stress. You learn how to win, how to lose, how to overcome things, obstacles. And what I took from that was that I wasn't lost because I couldn't do sports anymore. As much as I wanted to do it, that wasn't me. Everything I learned from that, I took with me and applied it to my music. So the same thing when it came to working hard, practicing, being dedicated, learning how to, mess up in front of people, learning how to get back up, how to, overcome these obstacles that we face all the time. So I find that I wish that I was taught more to focus on developing me as a person and character development, because I found that once I started to do music, all of the things that I learned just kept seeping through. And I was glad that, to be honest, I broke my arm at the end of the day, because now it gave me a new outlet to express myself. So what I want to do is, anyone to keep you guys encouraged, anyone in high school, university. I know it's tough sometimes finding where you want to go, what you want to do, the right placement, the right university. And I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is you and the character traits that you bring to the table. Are you a hard worker? Are you motivated? Are you a team player? All of these things that we think only apply in the sports universe, they apply everywhere else. And bringing that wherever you go, it doesn't really matter what life starts to throw at you, whether it's a job, whether it's, again, a placement, relationship, family struggles. You as a person is what's going to carry you through those moments. So again, you might not end up doing what you've been working on for the last 5, 10 years. As much as you have a passion for it, as much as you love to do it, and it sucks, but the truth is, you don't. So you as a person is I find is the most important thing that I learned, and how to be strong and be stronger. And whatever situation comes my way, you're able to shake it off. So that's a little history of me. And now, are you guys ready for some music? Okay. So this song I wrote not too long ago. I mean, sometimes in my writing process, I like to either start, do you guys know what GarageBand is? Anybody? It's like that free app that comes with all like MacBooks and stuff. I used to use that in high school. Like every day at lunch, I'd go right in there and make little beats and stuff. And to a point where my teacher, she actually gave me the key to go in the room. And I just started, sometimes I like to write on, electronically, so on keyboards and drum pads. Other times I might start on the guitar. Other times I'm driving, riding my bike, playing sports, and ideas come to my head. So this song in particular, it's about how we all have different ways of coping with things. So I'm going to start off with a song that's a little bit heavier in terms of the subject matter, and just based on, people I know that are close to me. I wrote it based on their idea of how they deal with these situations, right? So some of us might go work out, some of us might go out partying, clubs, smoking, drinking, all of this stuff, and there's different ways of coping that everyone has, and some ways are better than others. From that, all the way down to binge watching a series on Netflix in 2 days, right? So whatever it is you do it to kind of bring you out of that reality into this moment, just a way of relieving yourself and relieving the stress that you're going through. So this song is about that, and about this fake reality that some of us make up in our minds that we always end up going back to. This song's called Utopia. She's got boys filling up her basement, rubbers in her leather bag right beside the lipstick. She never finished school and she hates the projects. Getting out of here wasn't realistic. So to keep her hopes high when she's down on luck, buys a couple grams of the fairy dust, hangs in the playground, trying to drown the pain out on the merry-go-round, wishing that the drugs do everything they're supposed to, trying to find a refuge. She's just trying to get to Utopia. For a minute, 1 minute, it's paradise. Drinks in her, smokes in her, it's a perfect night, perfect night. She's dancing in the sky. Utopia. For a minute, 1 minute, it's paradise. She worried about her other life. When her head's hazy, she's dancing in the sky. She just just emptied out her closet. Found so many bones, had to use a forklift. And she broke down when she saw the garbage, where every bad memory was discarded. So to keep her hopes high when she's down on luck, buys a couple grams of the fairy dust, hangs in the playground, trying to drown the pain out on the merry-go-round, wishing that the drugs do everything they're supposed to. Trying to find a refuge, she's just trying to get to utopia. For a minute, 1 minute, it's paradise. Drinks in her, smokes in her, it's a perfect night, perfect night. She's dancing in the sky, utopia. For a minute, 1 minute, it's paradise. She ain't worried about her other life. When her head's hazy, she's dancing in the sky. And instead of going crazy, she just takes a hit. Feelings that are makeshift when she needs a lift out. Going in circles, she knows her way around, 'cause she's been here before. Wishing that the drugs do everything they're supposed to. Trying to find a refuge, she's just trying to get to utopia. For a minute, 1 minute, it's paradise. Drinks in her, smokes in her, it's a perfect night, perfect night. She's dancing in the sky, utopia. For a minute, 1 minute, it's paradise. She ain't worried about her other life. When her head's hazy, she's dancing in the sky, dancing in the sky. She's dancing in the sky. She's dancing in the sky. For a minute, just a minute. For a minute, 1 minute, it's paradise, it's paradise. When her head's hazy, she's dancing in the sky, utopia.